All right, and we're live. Welcome to More Than Numbers, where the numbers are just the beginning.
What do we got?
On to the next segment I have for you, my guy. Always one of my favorites, for me at least. I know the viewers are always going to think so, because we get into some soccer. Let's get it. Let's go. Champions League. Woo woo! We have some Champions League games that dropped today.
Yep.
We'll let you start off with your team. We got different teams over here. Man United fan on my end, Real Madrid fan on Dave's. Both good results. More so, I would say, for a Madrid fan. Technicality wise, for a Man U fan, we got a result. Got a lot to talk about there. But let's start with you, Dave, on Real Madrid. Give me your thoughts.
I think that I think we've put together some good games. We've got 3 out of 3. Um, I think things are still, as crazy as this sounds, okay? I think Ancelotti is still trying to figure out exactly um, what the best way to utilize everybody is. I saw something in the media that the higher ups in Madrid don't like how Cruz and Modric are being used. Um, and I'm just a guy, you know, watching, but I think it's reasonable at this point in their career to not have them both on the field at the same time when you have young talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Madrid, in my opinion, has the best midfield probably on the planet right now. Okay. Um, I think that obviously that still has to be proven, right? And now we're in the Champions League and we're going to get into the knockout round. So really, we're going to see what's what, you know. And uh, as long as we keep performing, then we're fine. Um, but for me, I think that the midfield that we have right now um, has been going has been doing phenomenal things. I mean, if you have uh, Valverde and Bellingham there, then you can really figure out if you want Chouameni there, if you want Kamavinga there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have a lot of options. You have a lot of options. Um, I think that uh, the way that they uh, shift Vinny around, up top, is huge because you can see him up there, playing a 9 role, even an 11 role, right? But then you'll see him over on the wing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, whoa, why? What's going on here? And he's like today he was just causing problems, causing problems. Um, and obviously because of that, I mean that's just a winger doing that, and now you have Bellingham coming out of the midfield and just doing amazing things. And I think I said this last time. All you want is this to not be another Eden Hazard, you know, uh, and he has really said, all right, I'm going to make sure it's not that, and he's going the direct opposite and gone way above what my imagination could have
Mm-hmm.
been for for him. I mean, I think it's phenomenal.
I mean,
Just keep scoring.
I think where you guys are performing right now is pretty admirable considering that you're having Rodrigo play as a striker. So there was no, I mean, I don't really understand it. There was no backup plan for Benzema leaving. I don't really understand how they didn't bring in a striker to replace Benzema when they did. I know they've been trying to go for Mbappe for years, but Mbappe's not a center striker. So that's what's kind of interesting about Madrid's plan right now. And it's, if you're going for Mbappe, great, but Mbappe kind of plays out to the left. Why on earth would you buy Mbappe when you have Vinny? You can't move. You should not move Vinny anywhere else besides where he's been playing. So
Right.
then, does Mbappe come in and play a different position?
Yeah.
That's insane. I highly doubt it, based off of all the reports are talking about how his character, his attitude is at PSG. That's not the type of guy that's going to come in and say, "Oh, I'll move for another guy." So,
I don't think that that's the case if he comes to Real, because I think he's always wanted to play at Real. Um,
but do you think he
but
plays through the middle, or do you think he plays right? Because either
I
way,
think he plays through the middle.
I
I think he
think
plays
that
through the
that's
middle.
insanity. He's never played that his whole entire career. Why would you play him there now all of a sudden? I think that that's a bad move from Madrid. I think personally that that's a terrible move for Madrid because you would then have potentially I know it sounds great on paper, a Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo.
Right.
But Mbappe is not a striker. He's not an out and out center striker.
Right.
He's a guy that has to use his speed. So it like tactically to me at least doesn't logically make sense to have those three, even if you have them float and go wherever, because ultimately you need somebody in the middle.
Right.
I think you saw that connection between Vinny and Benzema and what happened when Vinny has somebody to play it into the Benzema. So that's
Right.
why I just don't think it would work with Mbappe. I think you need to get an out and out center striker. And so that's going to be interesting to me. Are they able to get it in January? Do they have to wait until, the end of the season? I think if they wait until the end of the season, I think Madrid's going to be in a world of hurt. I think they've been able to manage right now because Bellingham has been scoring off the charts. Right now, Bellingham has 8 goals in La Liga in 9 games, and he's 3 for 3 in the Champions League. And he's essentially the reason. I personally say he's the reason you guys are actually winning games because
Yeah.
of his
Yeah.
goals. So if you
Yeah.
don't have Bellingham at all takes a dip, almost essentially meaning he doesn't score in every game because that's what he's doing right now. Where are the goals coming from? And so I think if Madrid does not get a striker in January, I think the season's just going to start to just go down and down and down. And I think they're going to be out. They're going to be out of La Liga. They're going to be out of the Champions League because they're too good of a team, and the teams that they're going to play are going to be too good to not have a striker for the whole season. And I think
Now, do you
Rodrigo,
think?
I believe Rodrigo's even come out. I think he came out in Brazil or one of the Brazilian interviews that he had at international break, and he said he's not happy playing as the number 9. He's having to do it. He's being forced to do it right now at Madrid because they don't have a striker. That's not his
Right.
preferred position. So you're just making like, look what happens when a guy, they're still winning games, but I was gonna say, look what happens to a guy's attitude and how they play when it's not right. Sometimes like a Marcus Rashford with United, it just doesn't look right. Winning always helps.
Yep.
It's an antidote to everything. So maybe, you're able to keep him okay, his attitude okay, and he's, he may be frustrated, but you're still winning games and he's playing. But I think at that level, that top level, guys'
Right.
egos, are tremendous. And I think that starts to kind of piss him off a little bit because he's
I
not
agree.
playing in the position that actually gets to utilize his abilities to the best of his abilities. So that's going to be an interesting one. But there's something that I wanted to ask you here. So I think I got a big one for you. I think this could turn some heads.
Okay.
A lot of people may disagree, but since we're talking about Madrid, do you think that Jude Bellingham right now is the best player in the world? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. 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 Why is that?
Why
Okay.
is that? Why
Because
is that?
two things. Two things. Not only does he have the skill, okay? Not only does he have the skill, he's also
Hmm.
being able to utilize what's around him as well, right? Because not only does he have the goals, he's also having the assists, okay? But think about it like this, right? Think about it like this. If you look at like most valuable player, it's not just you scoring. It's also that you are that important to the team's success, right? And him right now, what he's doing is just monumental for Madrid, right? And he's having all those pieces around him
Hmm.
work at such a great level. Madrid's at the top of La Liga, right? Madrid's on into the knockout rounds in the Champions League, right? And
Hmm.
I'm telling you, listen, when he puts his arms out after a goal, you could see it. Like the crowd is loving it. I mean everything. I think right now, with what he's doing, absolutely, absolutely, he's the best in the world. Absolutely.
Mm. That's a really interesting one. Yeah, I mean, you're right. They are top of the league right now. What do they have? Let's see, 25 points. Wow, interesting. With Girona with 25 points as well, and then Barca with 24. Okay. I mean, Look, I think I agree with you right now. Everyone I think thought that it was going to be okay, Holland
Correct.
or Mbappe, Holland or Mbappe. And a little bit out of nowhere, or essentially within 2 years, it shot
And I
to,
want to throw
is
one
it
one
Jude
piece out
Bellingham?
there. I'm so sorry.
Now, the
Remember, he's younger than the both of them.
okay, all right, I will
I'm sorry.
forgive you for cutting
He's
me off.
he's three
Say that
years
again.
younger than the both of them.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's wild. Well, for me, it's now I don't think we really saw the level of production right now that we're seeing for Madrid that he
Right,
obviously was
right,
performing for Dortmund, right? But everybody saw the power, the ability. I say ability of like
right.
technical ability on the ball, his IQ, his passing ability, his tactics. Like everyone was seeing it in one season at Dortmund, and for him to then go in and essentially, and people may disagree with me, he is the most
Absolutely.
important player
Yeah.
on Madrid right now. And it's not even a question. And to me, it's the sole reason for him being this is because of his goal scoring ability. So not totally wrong from you, Dave, but I will say he's not really getting the assists that you think of. He's only has 2 assists in La Liga right now in 9 games. So realistically, it's about
But
his goal scoring. But as I mentioned
okay.
when we talked a little bit earlier, right? The If it wasn't for his goal scoring, Madrid would where would they be right now? Right? Where would they be? Especially in La Liga. I mean, without a center striker, out and out forward for Madrid,
Yeah,
he's been their
for sure.
saving grace. So I think yes. I think because we're seeing him as a midfielder, right? And he's not a striker. And he's putting up what you would consider forward numbers, right? Almost a goal a game. Okay. I would say yes. I think currently in this form right now, I don't think that there's somebody playing at a higher level than Jude Bellingham. Also because of how he's playing for England in the international team. I mean, that team is essentially, it's like Jude Bellingham is the number one option in that whole team in the midfield. For that to
Yes,
have, what is he,
I think
19?
he's either
Is he
19 or
18,
20.
19, 20? However, however old he is, the fact that he's not a piece to the like a final piece to the puzzle, and that he's essentially the first piece on the board that they're building from, I also think says a lot for England. So I would agree with you. I think currently right now Jude Bellingham
20.
is the best player in the world in form. 20.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't that make you feel
Okay.
old?
Born in
Exactly. Like, what was I
'03.
doing
What's
at 20?
happening
Was
right
I the
now?
best player in the world? Nope. All these young
Bro.
kids, man, making us look bad. All right. So, Jude Bellingham, it's a great one. Okay, well, that's going to do it for us here at More Than Numbers. Appreciate you guys tuning in to listen. Do us a favor, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and
Share
as
with your
always,
friends.
leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on any of the segments that we talked about. Share with your friends, as Dave mentioned. We will be back in the next couple weeks. Look forward to seeing everybody then.
Bye.